G'day and thank you for joining me for the August 2025 edition of Humble Choice Smash or Pass. In this series, I check out the offering of the monthly Humble Choice bundle and compare reviews, value and compatibility of each game. My goal is to provide you with all the information you need to decide this for yourself. Will you smash the Choose Games button, or will you pass this time and check in again for the next bundle? It looks like we have quite the interesting selection of games this month, including some very positively reviewed gems from the last few years. On top of that, every game is once again offered as a Steam key, which will automatically make a lot of people very happy. But how does this bundle stack up after a few underwhelming months in a row? Let's find out. The clear headline of this month is Persona 5 Royal, which is a critically acclaimed and award-winning JRPG experience. Now, I'm not at all familiar with this series, but it is great to see that a few of the latest entries have been made available in recent choice bundles, which has given me the perfect opportunity to discover what I've been missing out on. In this anime-inspired fan favourite, the game is split up into two phases, a time management social life cross dating sim that twists into a darker affair with turn-based combat and interesting summon mechanics. This is presented in-game as the double life of your character, who is an ordinary student by day and a corruption-fighting hero by night. There is clearly a lot more to it than that, and I'm certain that I'm not doing the game its complete justice with such a simple summary. The Royal Edition of the game was released in 2022 and includes previously released DLCs. Think of this as the Game of the Year edition. The game still sells for about 95 Australian dollars, so this is a fantastic opportunity to get the game, even if it ends up being the only game in the bundle you're really interested in. Over its lifetime, it has amassed an incredible 96% positive rating from over 71,000 reviews, which tells you just how universally appreciated it is. The only consistent negative I could really see is that it still uses Denuvo DRM, if that is an issue for you. As a bonus, it is also Steam Deck verified, so you should have a great experience at your desk or on the go. As somebody who has never really got into the series, I am excited. This is a good opportunity to give it a go, and I'm very keen to get into it. Banishers Ghost of New Eden is a narrative action RPG that is big on lore, world building and storytelling. The developer Don't Nod is also behind other experiences such as Life is Strange, if that gives you any indication about how seriously they take this aspect of their games. In this entry, you play as a duo of ghost hunters in a world suffering from a terrible curse. You're tasked with exploring and investigating the source of the curse, uncovering mysteries and meeting new characters along the way. On your journey, you will be faced with meaningful choices that will make you question your values and motivations, with consequences that could shape the entire world. The game was released just over a year ago in February 2024, and it currently sells for around $80, so once again a recent game with a premium price tag that makes this bundle an excellent value proposition. It is listed as playable but not verified on the Steam Deck, so you might want to do some further reading if that's important to you. Lifetime reviews are 84% positive, with reviewers praising the writing of the story and dialogue, and the interesting combat mechanics. By all reports, it is a beautifully crafted world. However, many of the negative reviews do mention that the game can become a bit of a slog. Gameplay can become a chore, quickly feeling repetitive in a difficult to navigate environment that encompasses a lot of backtracking and getting lost. It seems fun, but not something I'm particularly interested in. My Time at Sandrock is the successor to the popular and charming My Time at Portia. This one is a life sim game that takes place within a small desert community. All the usual genre tropes are there. You gather resources, craft, produce, farm and fight, and build relationships. However, this entry seems to do all of this with an extra touch of care and charm that some other games might lack. With an appealing cute art style and hundreds of hours of content to play through, this is one for the chill gamers. The game was released in 2023 and still currently sells on Steam for about $65. It features single player and co-op gameplay and is also Steam Deck verified. Lifetime reviews are 88% positive, and most of the positive reviews seem to agree that after a slow start, in which you start with basically nothing, the game blossoms into a very fun time with meaningful and satisfying progression. There is lots to do between the quests, though some do find the story to be a bit dull. It doesn't seem to respect your time or freedom, with what is unskippable, and how strictly it holds your hand through certain aspects. Overall, fans of the genre should feel right at home in Sandrock. Having never played Portia in the past though, I'll definitely be giving this one a go. Let's School is a school simulation and management game in the same style as classics such as Theme Hospital or the 2 Point series of games. You play the role of headmaster, and it's your job to develop your school and attract teachers and students to create a lively, thriving educational environment. There is a lot to do here, from furnishing your classrooms to hand selecting your sports teams, with every decision paramount to the future success of your students, and by extension, your school. This 2023 title currently goes for about $30 Australian, and there are a couple of additional DLCs available that include new settings, themes, and furniture if that's your kind of thing. It is Steam Deck verified and has a very modest recommended spec, so you should have a smooth time playing on just about anything. 92% of lifetime reviews are positive, which demonstrates that it's not just a derivative copy of an established game in the genre, but it is a well-made experience that stands up on its own. Reviewers generally find the game a bit hard to start off, but once you get your head around the mechanics, it becomes incredibly satisfying and addictive, which will have you hooked for dozens of hours. Conversely, some players seem to bounce off this one with a few complaints that the UI and vague tutorials can be confusing and frustrating, and if you make it through the game, some say that there is not much replayability to pull you back in. As a fan of the classic Bullfrog games like Theme Park and Theme Hospital, I'm always keen to check out a more modern take. Lil Gator Game is another very cute, very cozy offering, this time giving you a vast 3D world to explore. Playing as the titular Little Gator, you traverse the world with a huge level of freedom, adventuring out to find things to do and a large variety of charming characters to meet. While clearly inspired from other open world adventures such as Breath of the Wild, this one is more of a bite-sized experience rather than a 50-hour collectathon, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. The game was originally released in 2022 for the Switch and PC, and so it's no surprise that it is Steam Deck verified, as it was designed to be played on handheld. It sells for around $30 usually, though at the time of writing it is currently 50% off. Reviews are at a phenomenal 99% overwhelmingly positive rating, showing just how much love and care went into making this game a genuinely fun experience. It's cute, it's fun, and it's simple, but it's also got a touching, emotional story and a world that fills you with childlike wonder. With a 99% positive rating, there aren't too many consistent negative points to touch on, except that there is a disproportionate amount of time spent watching cutscenes and reading dialogue that can dull the experience somewhat. Even still, while this game was never on my radar before, the more I've read about it, the more excited I am to give it a try. Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip is another quirky little game that I somehow completely missed. Just like the last game I looked at, this is another cute, cozy exploration game that features a main character of diminutive size. Playing as Terry, your motivation is simple. You want to do something cool, and so the obvious thing to do is to launch yourself into space in your car. You explore a charming, handcrafted world, you meet new friends, and discover all there is to do in order to upgrade your car and make your dreams of car-based space travel a reality. This one was released in 2024 and currently sells for around $26. It is Steam Deck verified and has low enough recommended specs that it should play well on just about anything. Once again, we have a title with an overwhelmingly positive lifetime score, this time with an impressive 96% rating. Overall, the positive reviews summarise the game as a short, bite-sized experience, best enjoyed and completed over a weekend. It doesn't outstay its welcome, and it keeps things interesting and engaging right to the end. It's got a bizarre, charming setting with a quirky dialogue and gameplay surprises that set it apart from most other casual open-world adventure games. As with the previous game, there aren't too many negatives to discuss here, but if cozy, quirky adventures aren't your thing, this might not be for you. Wildmender is a survival game set in the desert that tasks you to explore the vast sandy world and cultivate a thriving green oasis. No, this isn't My Time at Sandrock again, that was a few games ago. This one takes things in a slightly different direction, but it features plenty of the same charm and appeal. This time, you must contend with the brutal elements of nature and a mysterious corruption in order to succeed in bringing life to the harsh desert. Wildmender released in 2023 and currently sells for around $36. It is Steam Deck verified and can be played both in solo and co-op. Once again, we have a very well received entry with 86% lifetime positive reviews. Players praise how the elements and the game mechanics all fit together and progress well with a balance of exploration, survival and farming. Putting the work in and seeing your impact on the world is satisfying and beautiful, and there is plenty of intrigue in the storyline to make it feel like you have a real purpose. On the flip side, some players do find the game to be a bit of a grind, and the co-op features have been poorly implemented compared to some other games of its kind. This one is interesting, but does it do enough to be different in an already saturated genre? I think Sandrock from this very same bundle might be more interesting to play from an outside perspective. Finally, this is a game that I'm very qualified to discuss. Warpips is a tactical strategy game with deck builder, auto battler and tower defense elements. Somewhat inspired by classic RTS games, each battle is a tug of war between two opposing armies. Through the campaign, you earn unit and ability cards which you can take on missions to deploy on the battlefield. However, choose your cards and battles wisely. Once they're gone, they're gone. A few failures can leave you under-equipped and vulnerable to being overrun, and that's all part of the fun. Do you risk going into a mission underprepared in order to preserve cards for more dangerous foes? Or do you play it safe and risk not having your more powerful units when you need them? I played the hell out of this one when it came out, to the point where I completed all the content on every difficulty and unlocked every achievement in around 20 to 30 hours. It's fair to say I was a big fan of Warpips. It was released in 2022 and the game currently sells for just over $20. It is playable on the Steam Deck but not verified, however it's not a very intensive game to run. Reviewers enjoyed Warpips nearly as much as I did, with an impressive 88% very positive rating. Players appreciate the simple to learn, hard to master gameplay, and the satisfying engaging mechanics. It's addictive, it's replayable, and overall, just a simple, fun time. Negative reviewers found the game to be a bit too simple and repetitive, or unbalanced in its difficulty, but for me I had a fantastic time playing this one, and I would recommend it to anyone who enjoys this style of game. Bummer. And there we have it, the 8 games included in the August 2025 Humble Choice bundle. And what a bundle it has turned out to be. After a few months in a row that in my opinion were fairly underwhelming, every game on offer this month is incredibly highly rated and well received by gamers and reviewers alike. Plus, there's almost certainly going to be something for everyone here. The bundle is slightly let down by having a few games of very similar genres and settings like Lil Gator and Tiny Terry, or My Time in Sandrock and Wildmender for instance, but again, the quality is spread so evenly here that you are almost certain to find something that you love. Plus, with some strong headline acts such as Persona 5 Royal that are still selling at full premium price, even buying this bundle for a single game is going to be such good value that it's going to be hard to pass it up. Every game being offered as a Steam key is the icing on the cake, and it has been this way for a few consecutive months now, so hopefully we can assume they will keep this way going forward. This has been the easiest Humble Choice month for me to recommend so far, so hopefully this is a sign of good things to come. So, what are your thoughts on this month's bundle? Are you as enthusiastic about it as I am, or are you somewhat let down by what's on offer? Let us know in the comments down below. And with that, we've wrapped up another month. I hope you found this video useful in weighing up the games on offer in this edition of the Humble Choice bundle. I'll be back with another special pass next month, and I'll be covering some new and exciting games in between, so please consider subscribing and sticking around for more. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.